Apple Silicon supports the 48-year-old Intel 8080 processor with a secret extension. It turns out that Apple has built into its Apple Silicon processors support for instructions that were developed for the Intel 8080 processor, which debuted back in 1974, using a secret undocumented extension to execute very rarely used instructions, thereby improving emulation performance. Apple's Rosetta 2 is part of macOS, which allows applications written for Intel processors to run on Apple Silicon-based Macs, and it works pretty well. Named after the Rosetta Stone, which allowed Egyptologists to begin deciphering the ancient hieroglyphic writing system in the 1820s. Rosetta was just as mysterious, but may have started to reveal its secrets. In a blog post, Australian security researcher Dougal Johnson reveals the undocumented extension, discussing why Rosetta 2 is so fast. The secret extension apparently changes the way the processor stores parity and adjusts flags from within the app to allow for more accurate emulation. The story continues with web developer and retro computing enthusiast Blake Patterson, who explains it through Johnson's posts on Mastodon. All of this can be traced back to the 1974 Intel 8080, which was the company's second chip. This 8-bit microprocessor handled its parity flags in a special way, using them to indicate whether to carry numbers in a binary decimal operation, and this has survived to modern x64 chips, although it is almost never used by modern applications. The ARM architecture used by Apple Silicon is not related to x64 and has no such functionality, so it had to be emulated. Otherwise, some Intel software would not work on new Macs, and performing the same operation without handling the 8080 flags would require 5 times as many instructions and slow down the Mac. Rosetta 2 recompiles a binary application designed for the Intel processor as startup, rather than providing real-time emulation. It uses bits 26 and 27 of the ARM flag register to emulate their 8080 processing, to avoid having to go a long way each time. This would violate the ARM specification if it worked all the time, so Apple's Silicon processors only do this when running Rosetta 2. Johnson notes that this won't work if the Apple processor is running a Linux VM. This is a fascinating look at how extremely smart and productive software works. The original Rosetta was introduced in Mac OS X 10.4 Tiger and removed in 10.7 Lion. Rosetta 2 is also likely to disappear as soon as Apple Silicon is a few more generations old.